Hi there, my name is Yasir and I welcome you back to my YouTube channel. So, how do you get an 8.5 in IELTS reading? So whether you're preparing for academic, general, computer-based or paper-based, watch this video till the end because I have divided it into multiple chapters to help you navigate the entire video and understand the type of questions that you'll get in reading. So without further ado, let's get started. Before moving ahead, it's important that first you understand that what exactly is a reading test. So the reading test comprises of multiple types of questions and the duration is 60 minutes. You are to read 3 paragraphs that get progressively difficult with the passage of time. So the first paragraph is going to be easy. The second one is going to be slightly hard. And the third one is going to be the most difficult or the most challenging for you. So here's the first tip. There are 14 different types of questions that you can get. I mean, you won't be getting all 14 of them, but you need to have a solid understanding of all 14 types of questions. Now, what are these type of questions? Let's go through them one by one. So the first one is matching headings questions. This is where you choose a heading from the list which matches a section or paragraph in the passage. So you need to have a strong understanding of the passage as well as the statement to be able to match the heading. Number 2 is the most common, the most confusing, and the most popular one, which is true, false, not given. So you'll be given a statement and you need to see if it is matching with the passage. If it is completely matches, it's true. If it does not matches, it's not given. And if it is a complete contradictory, it is false. But then there are a lot of multiple tips, so we'll get onto it in some other videos. The third one is the matching paragraph information. So you are going to be given one heading that needs to be matched with a paragraph. Again, you need to have a solid understanding of the grammar, the vocabulary, and the different words that you're reading. Number 4 is summary completion question. Now this is where you're completing a summary by filling in the gaps using words from the passage or words given in a box. Number 5 is sentence completion questions. This is, if you want to say it in an easy to understand language, would be fill in the blanks. So you'd be given a passage and there will be blanks that need to be filled with the exact same word, not a synonym, the exact same word from the paragraph, from the passage. I'll get into that more in details later on, but you need to scan for specific information, select appropriate words, and understand information in the passage. Number 6 is multiple choice questions. These are a bit tricky. So for example, if there is one statement, there are 4 options for multiple choice. Out of those 4, of course, one of them is 100% right. The remaining options can be all false or extremely close to the one that is right. Okay, so the remaining options can be confusing and all of them may seem to be the perfect option, the right one, but the right one is a bit different. It is 100% matching the criteria of the passage. The other ones could be confusing. Okay, so you need to have a close understanding of what you're reading. It's important that you know what you're reading and the type of question that is being asked. Number 7 is list selection. So what you do in this is you choose the correct option from a list of words, information, or names. This differs from multiple choice because the questions all relate to only one long list of possible answers. Number 8 is choosing a title. Now this is where you choose the most appropriate title from a list, and it won't be wrong to say that it may or may not be more or less the same as the first one, matching headings, where you identify aims of a passage, distinguishing between detail and main aims, and then you choose the appropriate title for the passage. Classification questions is number 9. Matching sentence endings is number 10. Now, this is where you complete sentences by matching the start of the sentence with the correct ending given in a list. Number 11 is table completion. I haven't really come across a lot of tests where they're asking you to complete the table, but let's not take anything for granted. You'll be given a passage and then there's going to be a table. You're going to fill out the blanks in the table from the information in the passage. The 12th type is going to be flowchart completion questions, where you complete the flowchart using the correct words from the passage. The second last on 13 is diagram completion questions. So you'll be asked to label a diagram based on the reading passage. Last but not the least, it could be short answer questions, the 14th type of questions, where you answer questions regarding details in the passage. This is something that I haven't really come across, and I'm not really sure if there's going to be any IELTS test where you'll be asked short answer questions. So this was tip number 1. It is important for you to understand all 14 types of questions. The link for this is in the description. Now let's move on to part 2. The first part was to have a solid understanding of all the different types of questions that may be asked in reading. Number 2 is skimming and scanning. So whenever you get the passage, do not focus your efforts on reading the passage first. You're going to waste a lot of time over there. Your time is precious, so use it wisely. What you are going to do is you're going to read every question, and then you're going to take a pencil or use the highlight option on the cursor in your computer, and you're going to highlight those keywords once you've skimmed and scanned. Do not read the passage. Go through the questions, highlight them in the passage, and then read them. Tip number 3. Now, this is where you do the following. You need to know that all of the questions appear in a logical order. So let's suppose you have 40 questions. The first 5 questions could be from the first 2 or 3 paragraphs of part 1. The second 5 or 10 questions could be from the last 2 or 3 paragraphs of same part. So they always follow in a logical order. The first question could be from the first paragraph. The second question could be from the second, and the third from the third, and so on. So this should give you a good understanding of how the questions are written, so that you know exactly, as if it's going into a flow. You have a good understanding of the story, of the passage, and you're moving forward by reading it as long as you have a strong comprehension details of the question, and then you're going back to back of the passage. Here's tip number 4. If you ever get stuck reading, move on. Don't spend too much time, because you already have 60 minutes and you need to complete all 3 parts of reading. So once you highlight and move on, you can always come back later and see where you got stuck, and you'll easily be able to recall everything, and you'll be able to answer that question easily. But don't get stuck. Don't get confused. Continue going. Go with the flow. Point number 5, synonyms. The biggest trap in IELTS, speaking, reading, and writing, is that people don't have good vocabulary. That's where the confusion kicks in, because you don't have any understanding or any meaning of one word in more than 2 or 3 words. So if something is big, it could be giant, it could be humongous, it could be tall, it could be extremely large, it could be monstrous in size. And these are the different words to say the same thing. So let's suppose if the statement says that the business was not a success, but the passage says that the business was a failure, don't they mean the same thing? If something is not success, it's automatically a failure. If something is a failure, it's automatically not a success. Okay? This is the biggest problem. You need to develop vocabulary. I'm going to share some links with you here in the description. You can go check them out. Here's the next tip. Academic and general reading parts are not the same. The reading passages for academic are taken from books, from journals, from academic research papers, and they tend to be a bit more difficult as compared to general ones that are just simply taken from normal books and journals. They're not well researched, they are not, and they're a little bit easy. The academic part is slightly difficult than the general ones, which is the exact reason why a lot of students have a hard time in getting a high band score in IELTS academic reading, because it is naturally more difficult than general. So if you are practicing for academic, your practice needs to be slightly different than the other test candidate who's appearing for general. Because in general, you can read anything. You can take example of any writing or reading material to learn new words. But for academic, you have to be more technical in nature. So you have to read more manuscripts, you have to read more research papers and journals. All right, last but not the least, you need to time yourself. Practice as much as you can. Make sure that you are able to complete all 3 tasks within 45 minutes so that you have 15 minutes, which is an ample amount of time to always go back and redo, improvise, and make sure there are less mistakes and correct any of your mistakes. And that is super important. A lot of candidates miss out on this because they're unable to judge themselves and the time it takes for them to complete the questions. And they think that maybe they've done the entire paper in 1 hour and they don't need any revisions. But the moment you do revisions, go back, you realize that this could be the different answer. Then new ideas pop up into your head. This was how I was able to get an 8.5 in IELTS reading. And although it was general, but yet again, nothing is too easy when you want to get such a high band score. An 8.5 is about 37 out of 40. So I already had 3 wrong answers. If I had not taken the paper within the due time and not performed any revisions, I might not even get an 8. So going back, doing revisions, reading the same passage time and again, to have a good understanding, to have a natural flow of the passage is super critical and important to get a high score. And that's it for today. Thank you so much for watching such a detailed video on IELTS reading tips. Let me know in the comments, how was this video, and what are the things that you like the most, and how is it that I can be of any help to you. If you write any comments, any questions, I'll be more than willing to help you out and answer them. And I'm looking forward to spreading more knowledge on my channel and making more videos like this. With that being said, take care of yourself and have a great day. Bye-bye.